Hey guys, it's Danielle and I am back with another Project Life Process It video, and I'm going to be using my new Felicity Jane kit, which is the Happy Day kit, and I'm going to be working on my week 27. So I have my photos printed out and ready to go, and during week 27 we were actually camping the entire week, and the colors in my photos didn't even come close to matching the colors of this kit. So I decided to print them out in black and white, and that sort of solved that problem for me. This week definitely will not have I think, camping outdoorsy vibe, but I'm totally okay with that. I'm happy with how it turned out, and that kind of stuff doesn't totally bother me most of the time. So I have my stuff ready and I am ready to put this layout together. Now, real quickly here, I wanted to talk to you about a little tip that I use when I'm working with Project Life. And this is a tip that I've shared on my channel before, but I'm going to kind of go a little deeper and show you how I actually applied it to this week I'm working on. When I approach each week with Project Life, especially with this new smaller size that I've been doing, I approach it with what's new about this week and what's the same about this week, so that I kind of get a broad range of what my life is like. And we camp a lot, so I applied that to our week of camping. And the things that are the same is my daughter's love of the water and sort of the beach area when we go to this particular campground. I have a ton of photos that are just like the ones that I printed out, and so those will kind of build upon that story of her love for that. But the things that are different about this camping trip that I wanted to highlight was, one, it was 4th of July. We went camping over the holiday, and so my daughter's here in her 4th of July dress. It's black and white, so you can't see the colors, but there's stars and stripes, and it's definitely themed. And also, all of the grandkids were there. So all of my daughter's cousins on my side of the family were at this camping trip, and so that was fun and definitely different. That doesn't happen very often. So I definitely wanted to get that group shot in here. And the canoe shot is not something the same or different. It just depends who we camp with, but I liked the photo, so I definitely wanted to include it. So I feel like I have a nice balance of things that continue to be the same when we go camping and things that are different. And I like the broader story that it tells for my spread this week. So as you can see right here, I'm just getting everything put into place. I had a pretty good idea of where I was going. I had my cards pre-cut and different things like that from the kit, but I wasn't totally positive, and you'll see that I moved things around a little bit here. Now, when I first started this spread, all of my photos were trimmed to 3x4 in size, and that's how I was going to leave it. But when I laid it out, the whole thing just felt really dark and really black and white, and I didn't totally love it. So what I decided to do is just take a couple of the photos and trim them down a little bit, and then back them with some white paper, and I think that kind of splits it up and kind of makes everything lighter. I also took one of the cards in the upper right hand corner, and I used some vellum as my backing. I felt that bringing the sort of vellum see-through element there also lightened things up a little bit. I have a lot of pieces from the cut apart sheet that came in the kit, and also from the subscriber email that gets sent out that I'm using on this week. And I have those kind of in place. And then I'm debating using this puffy sticker that says Happy Days, and maybe this tag. I don't totally love the tag because I have a tag on that group shot on the bottom, and then right above that another tag, and I don't totally love that. So I actually skipped that, and I think this is sort of my plan going forward. So I'm going to mess with this Happy Days a little better. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I decided to just go ahead and get going on my title card. Now I have this stamp set that's also from Felicity Jane. It's designed to work with the planner pages that she also sells in her shop that I have as well. But I've been using it on my Project Life spreads because it has the week number there, which I love, but it also has numbers that are together. So instead of getting a 2 and a 7 for this week, I could just pull out the 27. So for another 4 or 5 weeks, I can use these and not have to hassle with matching up the numbers. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I've kind of just been switching back and forth between the style on the top of the stamp set and the style on the bottom. I like them both and they're great. I'm using this Dear Lizzie date stamp. I love this, the look of the font that they used. It's kind of a little bit taller than my typical one that I use, and I like that. And so I just stamp my dates, and I get that taken care of. And then I'm going to tape it down to my title card here, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of stitching at the top of this white piece. And so I know that I don't need to stitch it down terribly great. So this next card is the one of my daughter on the 4th of July. I love it. She's so happy. This was the first day of camping, and so she was super excited. And I put one of the little labels that came on the cut apart sheet on the bottom. And then I'm going to use my pen to write just, I think I write 4th of July. And, oh, happy 4th of July. And I call that good. We didn't do, we were going to go watch fireworks that day at the lake, but we never did. We had a lot of kids and it would have been hard. And so 4th of July wasn't a super major event, but I still wanted to document that in my week. And then I move on to this other sort of Polaroid type shot. Now, just to switch things up, I made the thicker white part be at the top of my photo instead of the bottom, and that left a nice spot for this tag that I was using. I really wanted to use this sort of bluish tag just to pull in more blue from my weekly title card into the album or the spread, and I like the way that turned out. Now I'm working on this journal card. I have the striped piece of paper. I cut this down from one of the 12 by 12 pieces of paper, and this little heart came in the subscriber email, and I'm going to just use this as a spot to write some journaling. What I end up writing here is just an overview of our week at camping, and I end up changing it because on the next journaling card that I work on, I actually do the same thing. I don't know what I was thinking, but when I got done and read them both, I was like, they kind of say the same thing. So I needed to change one, and the pink striped one is the one I ended up changing. And what I wrote on there instead are just some of my favorite things about the week. So sitting by the campfire, watching all of the cousins play, going down to the lake and hearing the sounds of the water. So just different things like that. So ended up working well. And on this vellum card, I've made the decision to write some more journaling instead of using that puffy sticker. And so I get my lines in place, and I jot down how it was a super busy week, and I had to remind myself to take time to enjoy the moment and enjoy the experience of being there with so many fun people instead of just worrying about if everything is going okay, is what I kind of wrote down there. And then in the top of that label, I didn't know what to do. So I pulled out another Felicity Jane stamp set from a previous kit, and it says #blessed, which I thought was perfect for that. And I liked that so much that I decided to change the label on this other photo that I did. So I pull out another pink label, and I get that stuck down and in place. And then I think a lot about what I want to put there because there's a few words that will work, and I don't quite know, but I decided to stick with a theme and take the other stamp that has a hashtag with it that says #happy. I was sort of hesitant at first because it didn't, before I had written in something about being the 4th of July, and obviously #happy isn't 4th of July related, but I still think with her being in the sort of stars and stripe dress with the dates that are on the title card, I think you put the 2 and 2 together, and I think it's pretty obvious. Plus, like I said, the holiday wasn't a super big highlight for us this year. So as usual, I take some cards over to my sewing machine and I stitch on them, and now I'm just bringing all of the cards back over there and getting them put back on my spread so that I can make sure I still like the way everything looks. And it was at this point that I decided that I wanted to go ahead and add that puffy sticker to this photo of some people in the canoe. It's actually my brother and his wife and my husband and London that are in that canoe. I think it's super cute, and I like the way that turned out. So, and at this point, I call it done. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, and I would encourage you to head on over to the Felicity Jane blog to get more information about this layout, plus to check out what the other creative team is doing, and I will link to the blog down below. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.